Good morning guys, and we're back with ranking our latest 20 solo runs. We've not done this since the very start of the year, so to be honest, this is quite kind of exciting because we've had some amazing runs in the last 20 weeks. Like, absolutely amazing runs. So we might as well just get completely started with it with Graveler. Now Graveler, it finished the game on 4 hours 31 minutes at level 75. Where do you think that should actually put it? Well, based on my tier rankings, it actually means it sits in the C tier, and only just before Cypher on time alone. Cypher got 4 hours 40 minutes, Graveler got 4 hours 31, so I feel it's a very fitting placement there. Cypher only got that high of a level anyway because it had to use Bide to get through, so yeah, it's even though it's a great Pokemon, it is kind of bad in Gen 1 because it only got normal type moves to work with. Golbat, on the other hand, yeah, it's still another C tier Pokemon. 5 hours and 3 minutes at level 63 means it places just before Cubone. Yeah, who'd have thought Graveler would be better than Golbat, but Golbat is great for going against Lance because all the AI does is spam Psychic type moves, so there's only 2 Pokemon you need to really worry about. Next up is Diglett at 5 hours and 32 minutes at level 76, means it only just didn't get the cutoff on time for the C tier, but from level alone it does hit itself in the D tier, only just behind Arcanine. And this brings a thing that I need to chat about to you guys in the comments. Like, yeah, I feel like I need to do a few reruns. Alakazam being one, Blastoise, Mr. Mime, Arcanine, Snorlax, Kangaskhan, maybe Pinsir, and definitely Sandslash, because with Sandshrew being up there, it just feels a bit weird that they're disjointed. And of course, Wartortle's like a few tiers above Blastoise. I really think I need to do new reruns with them. Anyway, Poliwrath is out next, and thank God we got ourselves another SS tier Pokemon. Like, Poliwrath did 2 hours and 58 minutes at level 60, only just keeping it in the SS tier. Whereabouts though? So it actually sits in the S tier right after Dugong. And Dugong, it was a great Pokemon, really was a great Pokemon, and even though the time was straight on 3 hours for Dugong, at level 57, it just edges it out in my opinion. Next up is Nidoran Male, and Nidoran Male did pretty badly. So we went from the great Pokemon to a pretty bad Pokemon. Nidoran Male, pretty much just like its female counterpart, didn't do very well, but it actually does manage to get itself into the D tier with a time of 5 hours and 43 minutes and level 69. So that actually placed it just behind Sandshrew, and I think that's kind of fitting. Generally, the male variant has better attack stats than the defensive females variant, so to be fair, I'm not too surprised by that, plus the fact it gets Horn Attack. Like, that move alone helps it in the early game a lot better. Aerodactyl is next, and Aerodactyl did not perform as well as I thought it did. It's still a very high tier run, it's going to sit itself into the A tier, but at the same time, I thought Aerodactyl would do better. 3 hours 44 minutes level 64, it means it just edges out Chansey, but yeah, considering how good of a Pokemon it is, I thought it would be tiered a lot higher, but its downfall is its move coverage. Just not all too good. Next is Venusaur, and we have our best grass type solo run in this entire generation. It sits itself comfortably in the S tier, and it only just beats out Persian. Like, with 3 hours and 8 minutes, it actually beats Gengar's time, but there's a 5 level difference between these two guys, so yeah, I could not put it any higher than Gengar. Next up is going to be Nidoqueen. Now this is another interesting one. Nidoqueen got 2 hours and 43 minutes, which is it's 3 minutes better than Gyarados. But what let it down was its final level. It got level 61, meaning it did not place itself in the SS tier. It got itself very firmly on the top of S tier with just that time alone. Kind of annoyed, but yeah. Nidoqueen sits itself in the S tier, and pretty much just like its first base forms, it makes sense that they're like a tier apart. Next up is Wigglytuff, and Wigglytuff performed better than I thought. Wigglytuff finished at 3 hours 44 minutes at level 62, so very exact same time as Aerodactyl, but it edges it out by 2 levels, meaning the Wigglytuff sits just before Aerodactyl. Yeah, who'd have thought that? Next up is gonna be Doduo, and as seems to be the trend with first stage flying types in this generation, it did not do well. It finished at 4 hours 55 minutes, which in itself could have got it into a higher tier, but what let it down was its final level. It finished at level 80, meaning it's a D tier Pokemon. And it just sits before Sandshrew by having a slightly better level. Sandshrew finished level 83, but it had 3 minutes better time. Doduo finished 4 hours 55 at level 80, so yeah, it could go either way. I actually prefer Sandshrew over Doduo, but I'm going to put it here for now. Kabuto is next, and it's a decent C tier. Like, it got 5 hours 10 minutes at level 70. Means it just doesn't beat out Mr. Mime, but beats out Jigglypuff. Kind of a base average Pokemon all around. The next big surprise for myself, though, was Tangela. Tangela is actually a decent Pokemon. Finished at 4 hours 3 minutes, level 58, which is quite a low level to finish on. But from that time alone, it actually doesn't get any higher than the B tier. But it sits pretty damn high. It sits next to Alakazam, beaten out by just 2 minutes on Alakazam. Again, this is another reason why I think I need to do a rerun with Alakazam. Next up is Jolteon, and I did not think this would beat Vaporeon, if I'm being honest, but it did. It actually beat Vaporeon. It got 3 hours 30 minutes, level 56, putting it into the S tier of my rankings. So, whereabouts in the S tier? Well, it beat out Hitmonlee by 6 levels, even though its time was 3 minutes worse. So it's definitely better than Hitmonlee. Kabutop's got 3 hours 11 minutes at 57. So I think those 2 minutes difference and 1 level difference, yeah, it means that Jolteon just sits just behind it. That then brings us to Butterfree, and Butterfree has become the best bug-type Pokemon in this generation so far. We still have Venomoth to go, to be fair. But it gets 3 hours 44 minutes, meaning that it's going to go into that A tier. And at level 61, it sits just before Wartortle, behind Clefairy. This little puffball is doing so well, I can't believe how well it's doing. But it's still beaten by Slowpoke, which is to this date the lowest base stage evolution Pokemon we have done a run with that's ranked so highly. So yeah, really, really good Pokemon. Next up is going to be Machop. And Machop, it's a middle-of-the-road Pokemon. 4 hours 42 minutes, a level 73, so it's going to be a C tier Pokemon. Sits just before Cubone because of its level and its time. But yeah, it's middle-of-the-road Pokemon, not much else to say about it than that. Articuno is next, and this was probably the biggest contender I thought to actually try and beat Mewtwo. It got 2 hours 37 minutes, so just 4 minutes shy of beating Mewtwo's time. But what cemented it as worse than Mewtwo, though, is the fact that it got 6 levels worse. Mewtwo finished level 51 at 2 hours 33 minutes. Articuno finished 2 hours 37 at level 57. So yeah, unfortunately, it does mean that this Pokemon did not beat out on the very top, which is kind of annoying. But there's one more Pokemon on this list that might do it. So, that just leaves 4 more Pokemon to rank. Next up is going to be Staryu. Staryu is, as a base stage water type, pretty much performed as well as you thought it would. At 3 hours 49 minutes at level 61, it beats out Poliwag on levels alone, but it doesn't beat out Ghastly. Ghastly got the exact same level, but was 1 minute quicker. So, unfortunately, it will sit in that A tier, right to the bottom. Magneton is next, and this was a very surprising one. We're adding so many to the SS tier today. Magneton finished at 2 hours 57 minutes at level 60. That time and level means that it actually goes right to the top of the SS tier, just behind Dugong. Poliwrath's been knocked back, and I didn't think we'd have 2 electric type Pokemon in that SS tier. That is honestly really surprising. and it bumps Jolteon down to being the 3rd best electric type in the generation from solo running, like on my channel alone. Let's bring it down a notch though. Let's bring it down a peg. Pidgey is next, and Pidgey, as you expected, performed awful. We did the run without having Sand Attack, which probably would have saved us a hell of a lot of levels, but it's now a banned move on my channel. It finished at 7 hours 7 minutes at level 90. So on time alone, it only just gets itself into the E tier, but it's by far the highest level we've managed to, we've had to beat the game. Even Spearow finished at level 87. So because of that time and level, there's a massive difference between the time for Nidoran and for Pidgey. It just sits before Nidoran because, I can't ignore nearly 2 hours difference between these two for, 20 odd levels? Yeah, it sits pretty comfortably there. And finally, the last Pokemon is Mew. This was the last Pokemon I thought could contend against Mewtwo, but unfortunately, 2 hours 43 minutes, it doesn't beat Mewtwo's time by 10 minutes, and it finished level 55, so it didn't beat Mewtwo by 4 levels as well. It sits 3rd on the tiering, beaten out by Articuno because Articuno got a much better time, but yeah. And that's it, that's 130 Pokemon, all ranked, all performed in a solo run to see where they would stack up. We've got 21 Pokemon left, and I hope you'll join me for the final tiering list once we've completed every single run. We're getting close now, so probably by the end of the year we'll have all of Gen 1 and possibly Gen 2 done. We'll soon find out anyway. Thank you for being here, I really appreciate it, and while you're here, smash that like and subscribe down below. I'm aiming to get hoping by this point I've got 500 subs. I don't know if I do because I've recorded this months in advance, and at this point I had 495. It goes a long way to helping out the channel and motivating me to do more of these videos, and I will get back to doing challenge videos, which you guys seem to love, very, very soon. Take care, appreciate yous.